But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy who encourages people to rape on Saturday night. Title IX campus rape. This is an important topic because it ruins people's lives. Let's set this for people who don't really know. We just throw around the term and Betsy DeVos and Title IX. Okay, Title IX is a portion of the United States Education Amendments from 1972. And this is what it says. No person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. So how did this come to have any relevance to campus sexual assault? Okay, 2011, Obama's Education Department wrote a Dear Colleague letter to all colleges outlining new procedures for detailing detailed and showed them how to deal with campus sexual assault. So what did this do? It reinterpreted Title IX as actually giving the federal government the authority to dictate all of the procedures that colleges would use to address sexual assault allegations. But by the way, cited, if you read this, we have a link to the PDF, cited all the research, like the 1 in 5 women are raped. I don't know if the 77 cents into that. Imagine this is the president sending out, we're going to reform this because 1 in 5 women are raped.
But the people reading this, do they have Google? Do they have Google? No? Okay, we're good with that.
Yeah, we're just going to go with 1 in 5. Verifiably false. And that's where you get conspiratorial. Like, well, does the president of the United States not know that that's untrue? So this required universities, based on these false sort of premises, to allow accusers, by the way, to appeal not guilty findings, which is basically it's like a violation of double jeopardy.
Yeah.
So the most important point here is that the Obama administration actually demanded that colleges use what's called the lower burden of proof. Now, it's not just terminology, it's actually a legal term. So this means that instead of proving beyond a reasonable doubt, as we have to do in our legal system, the accuser, when it dealt with campus rape, only had to prove that it was likely, basically possible, that a sexual assault could happen.
Were you alive on Wednesday? Then it could have happened.
Was doing like a jury of my peers? No, she's already carrying the Serta.
Your peers are now kangaroos.
It is true. These are effectively kangaroo courts. It's like Lord of the Flies on campus. So this is what happened. A record number of people have been expelled for sexual assault with no evidence at all. More than 100 people have or are now suing universities for violating their due process rights. So this is important because the attack against Betsy DeVos, and we'll talk with Roaming Millennial about it, hint, not everyone agrees with angry feminists. The attack is, well, she's condoning rape. You see that from Planned Parenthood. You see it from Cecile Rich. You see it from all these people on Twitter. I can't believe every woman who claims to be a victim of sexual assault deserves to be heard. What about the guy who's been accused of sexual assault, who didn't do it? We can play that game too. You can play that game on either side of it, and this is how they try to paint it. If you somehow oppose the interpretation of Title IX, which Betsy DeVos does, which has destroyed countless lives, you're a rape apologist. That's why we wanted to get into this. Now, what has this done in practice? Let's give you some examples, because everyone knows, Mattress Girl, right?
Yeah.
Mattress Girl, UVA, the Rolling Stone, Duke Lacrosse. So these are ones that everyone knows. But again, hundreds of people are suing because of violation of the due process rights. So let's give you some examples of Title IX abuse that you might not know about. So Amherst College, 2012, male student passed out at a party after drinking too much. While he was unconscious, his girlfriend's roommate performed fellatio, I guess we'll say, this is going on broadcast, on him. So she texted her friends about it. This is an actual story. It says actually probably even way worse than Mattress Girl. I don't know why I didn't get the same press. Direct quote in the text was, "Oh my God, I just did something so effing stupid." She was worried her roommate would never talk to her again because of what she'd done. And she texted, quote, "It's pretty obvious I wasn't an innocent bystander." Now, she wasn't raped, but for using the term obvi, someone could understand why one might be aggressive with her.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a weird abbrev.
So 2 years later, after this, she accused him of sexual assault. The result, the guy was expelled. When the girl's friend came forward with texts showing that she was actually the guilty party, the college refused to open the case. Now keep in mind, the guilty man in this case was never even charged with a crime. So this is another example at Amherst College. Imagine she blew a guy in his sleep and then 2 years later said she was sexually assaulted. There was evidence to the contrary, and this guy's life is ruined. This is not atypical, by the way.
I feel like the whole the timeline is so weird when you see these. Like, if you got violently raped in the alley right now, would you realize that a couple of years down the road, maybe?
Guys, I'm never falling asleep again.
I feel like maybe I was raped. University of Findlay in Ohio. Here's another one in 2014. So here's something. Often Title IX affects people of minority status on campus. People don't realize that. What do you do now?
Just constantly rearrange the
Oppression
priority
leftists.
of.
Justin Browning and Alfonso Beatty II, two black athletes, so each had separate sexual encounters with a white female student one Saturday night, September 14th at the party. Okay. According to witnesses, she initiated both encounters. They were consensual. She even came out of the room between encounters and paraded in front of other friends naked in the residence. Now, does this mean she's guilty? Should be sexually assaulted? No, that's not at all what I'm saying. Don't say we're rape apologists. She then spent the entire night with Justin Browning and bragged to several friends afterward regarding the sexual encounters, okay? 13 days later, she filed a sexual assault complaint against both men. Only 2 days later, they were both expelled. Now, before even providing Browning or Beatty with any chance to appeal the decision, the school actually issued a campus-wide alert announcing their expulsion, and their names and photos were printed in a local paper. It's like an Amber Alert for fake rape.
Yeah, and
What color would that be?
I just don't get why my wife doesn't parade after our sexual encounters.
She does. She talks to
something
me
wrong.
about it.
She never parades.
We talk all the time.
She just has a look of shame.
What were you trying to say? Did you just make a joke about the man's wife?
No.
You could probably reach over there and kick his ass right
Yeah,
now.
no, I'm already planning it.
So, the university, by the way, never followed up with any kind of evidence, and they denied the appeals. Again, they were never charged with a crime, let alone found guilty. Here's one that I find interesting, and the reason why is because, we see all these anti-bullying campaigns from the left. Same people who hope that Betsy Devos gets raped, but, the rules get a little murky. So, gay male student, University of Texas at Arlington, he accused Thomas Clock. It could be Cloak. I could be mispronouncing it here. He accused Thomas Clock of writing anti-gay slurs on his computer during class. So basically the idea was like he wrote an anti-gay slur and turned it over to the gay guy. Okay, he wrote apparently all gays should die into his search bar and then called the gay student a faggot. So basically there was no evidence. Okay, the administration admitted there was no evidence, and Clock actually said that the gay student had been hitting on him, typing "you're beautiful" into his search bar and showing it to him, and Clock responded, "Hey, stop, I'm straight," and asked him to leave, which, by the way, is borderline committing a hate crime nowadays.
Yeah.
Just saying no to a gay man is seen as far more aggressive than a woman saying no to a male. Believe me, I've had this happen in the workplace. Why did you say no to?
Happens.
Why did you say no to him? What do you have a problem with gay guys? What? No, I'm just not gay. Well, is that what it is? Or you're homophobic? I'm just not a homosexual.
This is a fanny pack only zone, bro.
So the gay student was friends. This is important to note. Friends with the Associate VP of Student Affairs, Heather Snow. She then went on to write a complaint for the gay student and punished the alleged man in question without even contacting the Title IX coordinator at the school. Now, Clock never received a hearing. He was prohibited from having contact with anyone in the class, which meant that it was impossible for him to contact any witnesses to corroborate his story. Here's something crazy. The school still required him to take exams for classes that he was prohibited from attending. He was placed on academic probation, and the disciplinary record was going to keep him out of grad school, which he'd planned on attending. So now if this sounds right, this is important because he had planned on attending grad school. All of this, no evidence. The person happened to be friends with the vice president over there at the committee. Days after all of this, Clock killed himself. No history of mental health problems. By all accounts, happy, looking forward to graduation, moving on to grad school. Here's what's important for people to understand. Rape is a horrible crime. And I think every guy in this room would say, yeah, rape is terrible. I don't think anyone here wants to see anyone raped. I think if we knew a man who were an actual rapist, we'd probably beat him within an inch of his life. But it is life-destroying to simply throw the accusation of rape, especially on campus where it follows you for the rest of your life. There's nothing you can do about it. Think about that. Imagining all of your life's plans are destroyed by a gay guy with an axe to grind who's friends with someone who happened to be a VP over there in the Title IX department. Can you imagine how hopeless that would be? This is, again, that culture of victims. We need to appease these, creating actual victims. Where's the anti-bullying campaign here? Hey, say no to hate. Don't bully the kid with a lisp. Well, you drove a guy to killing himself because you didn't even allow him the legal tools that are available to anyone not at your university. You were talking about this before when we did the show. It was a really good point, Owen. You were talking about you have a choice of as a guy being the monster.
Yeah, the monster. Yeah, I mean that just bummed me out, man. That's crazy.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
like, would you? No. It's just like, I mean, that other guy is such a No, but honestly though, like
That'll get a celebrity video where a bunch of people say the same phrase. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know when you say faggot? But it doesn't matter if you just falsely accuse a guy of rape.
I was just in Europe for 2 weeks, so I believe he was a bundle of sticks.
Yes.
That's what they call a pack of cigarettes.
It's changed meaning for a long time. They did an episode of that on South Park. You
Yeah.
can't give so much power just to words that hurt people's feelings and then remove powers from institutions that allow us to protect ourselves legally as per the Constitution. We want everyone to be afraid of, oh no, there's a vowel, but we don't want them to actually have the ability to protect themselves, which, hey, that's kind of the founding of our country. Should constitutional rights apply to a student? Yeah, if he's an American citizen. These are the same people who want us to apply constitutional rights to people who are not American citizens, but we require no actual proof beyond a reasonable doubt to ruin a man's life for the rest of his life. And if you speak out against it, you're a rape apologist. This is why Title IX is so important. And even if you don't like Betsy DeVos, I don't think she was most experienced. We'll talk about this with Roaming Millennial. I'm sure she has some opinions. When you look, again, it makes you kind of like with Donald Trump. It makes me have to defend her more because there absolutely needs to be a change here. You will destroy a generation of men forever. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy who encourages people to rape on Saturday night.
Hey, if you like this video, subscribe by clicking the button that says subscribe. If you're not aware of it now, there's no way you're learning the internet at this point. I'm not going to help you. But this was clipped from my daily show, available exclusively to louderwithcrowder.com/mugclub members. If you're a student, military, or veteran, enter in that promo code. It's less than $6 a month, and you get daily content. No more clips, plus this hand-etched mug. Oh, when I feel it, I got a chill like on the inside.